Talk to me about some typical kind of friction or pain points you see after the customer says yes.
Oh God, so many. Onboarding is a huge one that I spend a lot of my time working with businesses on. The opportunity that is missed in onboarding, and I think so many, whether it's coaching, consulting, SaaS companies, even outside of that though as well though, the opportunity to really mold the client's not only first impression but first working experience with you is huge for LTV, for long term client satisfaction, everything. When somebody comes in, especially with these higher ticket coaching consulting programs, when somebody comes in, they've just dropped probably one of the largest amounts of money they'll ever drop in their life on a thing they saw online on an ad. Uh, they're so not only malleable to, thinking that it's going to be better than what they thought, thinking it's going to be worse than what they thought, but they're nervous. They're anxious. There's fears, there's insecurities happening. And I think instead of very intentionally designing that, what I call the first 72 hours, instead of intentionally designing that, so many companies, so many programs just leave that to, oh, that's when we take care of our administrative stuff. We make sure contracts are signed. We make sure this, da, da, da. All the while they're sitting there being like, I just dropped 20K on this thing that I think I know what it is, but I'm not actually quite sure what it is, and da, da, da. And like, my first call isn't for like a week. And what do I do in between? Like, there's all these questions that come up. And my argument is always, make sure that you have an answer for them. And that doesn't it doesn't mean that you need to have somebody on call to answer all those. It means you need to build out the infrastructure to set the expectation, to tell your client it's okay to feel X and Y and Z throughout this part of the process. The four quote unquote states that I'll help my clients to achieve within their onboarding process is really powerful. It's safety, clarity, momentum, and identity. If you can achieve all four of those states within the first 72 hours, the likelihood that your client lifetime value will soar long term is insane. And going into, I'm happy to share, like more specifics on that and frameworks and how to achieve all that. But onboarding is one of them. To go back to your question, referrals is another one. Hugely, like I literally do an entire like TED talk on this. I feel like referrals is huge because so many people, you find in these mastermind groups, these coaching programs for coaches or consultants or high ticket, whatever, referrals are looked at and kind of preached as this like potential bonus, or this like, oh, if you happen to have somebody bringing in a referral, it's great, but it's really hard to expect it, or you can't expect it, or don't plan on building on any infrastructure around it because you can never know when they're coming in. I find that to be completely bullshit. Feel free to bleep that out. But completely BS. Referrals are absolutely 100% can be engineered. One of the easiest lifts that I find, just very quick things to change around, is the timing of the ask. So many people wait until the end of a program, when quote unquote the results look the best. So many people wait until the end to ask for, oh, hey, by the way, do you know of anybody else who we could help do X, Y, and Z? I'm sorry, but by the end, they're already looking at the next thing. They're already thinking, oh, well, I was sold on X and Y and Z, but I only got A, B, and C. Like the conversation that they're having in their head is not attuned to you asking them to give discretionary effort to go and find you somebody else to work with and to pitch to. You have to ask when their belief that they will achieve results, regardless of whether they have yet achieved them or not, is the highest. And oftentimes I find that comes between about 30 to 50% of the way through the container. So if it's a 6-month program, you're looking at about end of month 2, early month 3 is when to really start have those pointed referral conversations, when they have the pieces of momentum, the big wins, they start to see progress, they start to see something happening. And you say, hey, listen, this is really fantastic that you've been doing this. I tell you what, do you by chance know of anybody who would also strive and who would also want to succeed in this X and Y and Z way that we just helped you accomplish? I would love to send them a quick 10-minute Loom video just to show what you and I have done to give them context on what they can also experience.
Yeah. I mean,
the reciprocity that you get from somebody having come off of a huge win and asking them that, I mean, it's butter, easy, done.